Hello and welcome each and every one of you. With you today is me, Daiga, multilinguistic international coach therapist from DCTcentre, and with me today is two lovely ladies. Morganne Rayne, spiritual consultant, gratefully providing access to higher dimensions of being. Morganne has been called healer of healers as a way to describe her unique spiritual tools she shares. Morganne is here to serve those who seek great understanding of their sacred spiritual self, have the deep desire to integrate that consciousness in their 3D world. And with us as well is Jeanne Reina, licensed psychotherapist in state of Washington, working primarily with early childhood trauma, sexual abuse, and emotional neglect, helping clients empower themselves. Jeanne sees herself as a lifetime student of growth. She continually takes classes to enhance her knowledge base. Please remember, if you or your family or friends are interested in personal therapy and healing, you can reach out to Morganne, Jeanne, or myself. All contact details are in description below the video. If you like what I do, please like, share, and subscribe to my YouTube and Rumble channel. Okay, the darling ladies, I haven't seen you for ages. It's been actually 4 months. So quite long time. What's happening with you? What you doing? What's going on in your life?
Why don't we start with Jeanne?
I'm just taking classes, clearing things, and living the way I always wanted to. So it's great.
Wow.
It's wonderful.
Yeah, living life the way you've always wanted to. How many years did it take you to get there?
I'm 64.
Yeah.
I think life is a continuous learning and growth opportunity.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't know, it's exciting if you go into the hard parts of it, and really I think life is a classroom, and if you avoid the learning or and don't go face it, like show up and face it, it causes problems. But I think when you go through the hard stuff, on the other end, it's really great.
Yeah, I like what you just said about if you approach it like life is a classroom. Actually, that's some of the writing I did this week with the module for this coming Sunday. So I think it's a great way to take a look at where you are, where you land, who you're with, and what does it teach you? Every bit of it. What do you know more about yourself in the presence of all that? And that's learning, that's growing, that's expanding when we look at life that way. So I'm really happy you brought that forward.
What I actually just now noticed, I never asked you how old you are. Yeah.
Daiga, I'm getting a little muffled from you.
Hello.
Okay, so I didn't hear what you said.
I said that I actually never asked how old you are. Yeah. And today you first time tell your age, and it looks like you younger as well. I'm only 60. Yeah. So I didn't give you more than 45, 50 at all in all times. So same as Morganne, yeah. She's younger, and every time I see her, she's getting younger.
Isn't that
Oh,
bizarre?
thank you. Thank you. I
You
think
are doing the same.
it's living a good, like, you know, being intentional about how we're living.
Yep. Yep. You know, and I love that you bring in this forward. You know, I'll say what I'm going to say about where I've been, but the module for this coming Sunday is it's all about our radiance and walking in beauty. So, and I want to talk about that, but I do want to just kind of give what I've been up to the last 4 months. It's been a track. When we took a break, a hiatus from the show, I took a hiatus from a whole bunch of stuff. It was like I took a hiatus from people. I took a hiatus from my community. I took a hiatus from what else did I mean, so many things. I let go of something that I thought I wanted to do and realized it wasn't for me. So, you know, it's like I spent the last 4 months letting go of what doesn't belong to me, right? Anything that was causing me stress or whatever. And it's so helpful to take that kind of time away and really start to examine what's going on in your life, right? It's and look at it from a perspective of not the constant doingness. And when you start to let go of things, even with this show, there was like the week afterwards, I had a bit of a panic. It was like, because we've been doing this for, oh God, Daga counted them up, 165 shows I've done, right?
This is actually 165th show. All together, what we done with Alishan, what we done with Morganne, only 2 of us, what we done together with you, all together is 165 shows Morganne and I done.
That's impressive, isn't it? And it's always good to be able to step back and look at what the intention is, what, you know, what are we doing, right? What are we doing it just for fun? Are we doing, you know, it's like there's but what I've discovered is what's coming back, what I'm including back in my life are those things that are important to the mission I'm on here, which I'm on a mission. I think everybody knows that. If it's going to support, we all are on a mission. We're exactly. So those things that support why I'm here are the things I am bringing back into my life that support me, that allow me a way to express fully who I am without fear, without any of that, just to be who I am, show up how I am. So it's been a very interesting period of this 4 months to let go of well, actually, I let go a lot of things, just even things I love. I just let it go. And then I bring back what is the most important. And I actually encourage everyone to do that. It's okay to let go. In fact, letting go is one of the most powerful things you do, because if we keep holding on to stuff, we don't even have a relationship with it anymore. We have a relationship with the attachment of it. And letting go of attachments was my goal and my mission, and I accomplished that. And now I bring back what works for me and what works for the mission I'm on. So that's what I've been doing.
Great, thank you, Morganne. And about me, I think it was same as Morganne said, when I couldn't log in, when all this, sorry for straight speaking, but this shit hit the fan and I can't log in and I can't log in the show and I can't log in there and I can't do this and can't do that. I was in a panic. I really was in a panic because something started to break down. Yeah. And it took me some time. I think 1 month it took me to actually realize and look from different perspectives. The universe was pushing me. You have to shine as well. You are not just host for the show.
Mm-hmm.
You have to shine. You have your ideas.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah? Because here I appreciate every single part of this show, but I'm not the star on this show. Star on the show is Morganne. Second stage is Jeanne, yeah, and I'm the host. Yeah, I just that that's my platform. I'm giving this platform. I am here to sort of support and yes, give my input as well, but not as star of the show. Yeah. And so it is my platform. Yeah. But now, after 1 month of thinking, today will be my 10th show, only myself. Every Thursday, I've been doing 6 o'clock. Today will be 7 o'clock. I'm doing my own show. Yeah. In my own show is I'm starting the show with everyone can choose one object. There is 3 objects. Every single show, those subjects change. Yeah, there is 3 objects. Everyone who actually tunes in my show, they can have an end of the show reading specially for them, for their chosen object. Because I always been, you know me, my favorite parts of show, what it is, meditation
Yep.
and cards. Yeah,
Yep.
that's my favorite part. And I was quietly just as a hobby. I'm not doing anyone's readings and I'm not uh, taking money. Mind you, some people is now more asking me to do some readings as well, but I'm not going, I'm not confident enough to go and do tarot reading on live show. Yeah. What I'm doing, I before the show already the reading is done. I write everything up. Yeah. And then I explain this reading on public for all who view my shows. I in my heart feel that it is right format for me. Yeah, it's interesting, it's involving. Yeah, everybody can take something away from that.
Mm-hmm.
And they already know. Here, we never know what guides will tell Morganne what she needs to talk about. Yeah. In my show, I speak to my guides week before show. I already contacting my guides and we putting together the show. Yeah. So that's been me. That's how I'm growing. how my channel is growing, and I enjoy every bit of it. So
Isn't that just beautiful? The growth that's happened in these 4 months, and we can arrive back here expanded, more anchored in who we really are and why we're here. It's lovely.
yes, Morganne, tell me what actually is today's show about? What your
Well,
guys telling us about?
well, I don't know. However, it evolves, but I'm just going to speak this. A few weeks ago, I was hanging out with some people, and one of the people that were there, made a statement to me that was so interesting, and it really, it like started like worming its way into my mind and in my heart. And what it was a man friend who said, "You truly walk a path of beauty." And I could take that. If I looked at that from an egoic point of view, I go, "Oh, he thinks I'm pretty." Right? But it had nothing to do with how I looked, how I dressed, what my genetic makeup is. It had nothing to do with that. And so it's like been alive in me. Sometimes I'll ask, what's alive in you? Well, that statement has been alive in me, and um, it's moved in. I guess that's what I can say, is it's actually moved in, and now it's like I'm putting together our module for Sunday's class, and it's moved in there too, right? The theme for July in all of the Course in Miracles meditations for that month, I see it as a reflection of radiance, a radiance of being. And I look at, and everyone knows, if you haven't been here for a while, or if you just joined us, I look at my life through what's actually going on, like seasonal, or it's like I relate to the present moment in it, and I find so much richness in looking at life, how it presents itself. One, because it's actually a reflection of what I think and believe. So I might as well just start there, right? It's like, if I'm looking out and I see beauty, then the observer in me has the capacity to be beauty, right? So it's like, when I look at nature, when I look at seasons, when I look at the stars, and when I look at the moon, I think about that these are all gifts given, and ways to interpret and translate my life, and what I go through. And for me, it works beautifully. It can calm me immediately. I can move into it and receive what I need from being present with nature. So here we are. We've just started summer. This is what we would call midsummer, right? The midsummer, and there's a lot of magic that it happens during this time. One, we see the glory and the radiance of life bursting out everywhere, right? That's been going on for a while. Spring came in, the flowers, the buds, and all of that, and it just continues to go. And now it's like, I see things and I just see the light in them. I see the radiance of what they are. And so I've been enjoying being just present with what this time of the season is. It's a time of fullness. I'm already picking green beans and tomatoes. It's like the earth is giving up her bounty, but the bounty's there because I planted the seeds of it, right? So what I'm getting to witness is the fruits of my bounty. It's the manifestation of the seed ideas that I placed into the ground or into a pot or whatever. And it's like I get to see what it is that I manifest in my life. So as I look at our world at this point, this midsummer time where all of this beauty's unfolding, it's like it's just pouring itself out. It's like everything's getting bigger and fuller and taller. The grass just keeps on going. You cut it and it comes back. It's just remarkable to be present to how nature is unfolding at this time. midsummer is also a very magical time in the elven kingdoms and in the angelic kingdoms. All of that's very magical as well. The veils can become very thin so that we can experience the magical part of being alive. And I think that's really important for us to know that beyond just our visual sight, beyond that visual sight, there's so much more, right? It's like, I think about, there was an exercise I used to teach my students eons ago, is I would have them, fold the interlock, lace their fingers like this and look through those fingers, and you can only see little pinpoints of light. Well, that's like our consciousness. That's all we see. That's all we can see with our visual. But if we do this, if we separate that, we realize that there's like so much more. Well, even more than that, if we could remove the veils of our thinking and remove the veils of our, what do I want to say? That which hides what else is there. I don't know how other way to say it. When we begin to lift those or begin to think into those, more can be revealed. And then we're seeing more magical things, more beautiful things, and more magical things can occur for us. So, going back to what this gentleman said to me, as I think about that, and I've been writing these modules regarding that, we too, and I look at us, right? 4 months we've been apart from one another, but in that 4 months, there was something growing inside of us, something urging itself through us, something that wanted to be born in us that couldn't have happened if we'd continued on. It needed to rest. It needed to stop. It needed to integrate within each of us so that when we came back together, we come back more with that radiance, with that fullness, with the more purposeful way of expression. So it's kind of how I'm seeing life at this time, is that we can walk and be in our world with our habits and our strategies and our reactions, or we can move back into the depth of our being and recall and remember really who we are, that we are not limited beings. We're the living light, that we are the radiance. It's not even something that we have to go look for. It's just something to be remembered. And so walking this path for for 4 months, but the last couple of weeks with this nugget that was dropped into my my field, right, has rippled in my heart and in my mind about what it truly means to walk a path of beauty. And so we can talk more about that, but just to open up the conversation here, what do you ladies know about this piece?
I would say I pick up on what you said about it's midsummer energies, yeah, and everything is growing and changing. I would pick up on at the moment we just went through full moon energy. We still are really on full moon energy, yeah. Plus now, by any means, I'm not astrologer, but at the moment I read there is planets setting up how it's been like only once in 13 years. For the next 13 years, like planets setting up, and we need to sort of move forward with our lives, like exactly what we've been doing for those 4 months. Yeah, I think we already, all of us, like earlier, started this movement, and just at the moment, this movement just excels. Yeah, with this new coming energies of midsummer and solstice and full moon, and now this planet setting up in different ways, yeah, especially to increase this movement forward.
Mhm.
Yeah, that's from me. What, Jeanne, you thinking? You've been quite quiet today.
Well, I'm reading. I've been reading the Anastasia series.
Wow.
The ringing of cedar ringing. Ringing cedars.
Ringing cedars.
Yeah, and so before I started reading them, I was really getting into nature and communing with nature a lot, and seeing the sacredness in it and of Mother Earth, and really paying attention to that sacredness with nature. And so which inspired me to start reading the Anastasia series. I've read it before, but I'm back reading it. And I just feel like it gives so much, like not only nature, but these books in the Anastasia series. There's so much that we neglect with our technology and everything going on. And yet, I'm reading it from different sources, is that nature has everything in it that we could possibly create. Whatever was created on this earth has already been in nature. And I don't know, I just find it fascinating. I feel like I'm learning so much about, like, I feel like I'm going back to nature and learning so much about life through nature. And so I really appreciate this time and being in the present moment.
That's interesting that you started reading the Anastasia series. I just pulled one of the books out. It's very interesting. And I let someone borrow book 1, so I pulled down book 2. So I just wanted to get a glimpse back into to that, because truly those books, if anyone you've got to read these books. It's a way of perceiving that will it'll change. It will change you, because when we begin to look through our filters of modern life, this modernity has laid filters over us, and has it actually, we think that, oh, it's so good for us, but actually it's not, right? All this modern technology and all of that, again, it pulls us to the outer expression and doesn't allow us to move within where the beauty and the radiance is. The technocrats of the world, is like laying this foundation of reliance on artificial means, right? And sure, it's easy, but it's not real. And I think in the end, we'll discover that we lose ourselves with it, because it doesn't allow us to grow. And in that Anastasia series, you become enamored with the capacities and the abilities that can be honed within a human being. That's profound and beautiful, and yeah, I'll just stop it there. So yeah,
Yeah, it's
beautiful to
very, very powerful books.
very powerful books. And really that whole series of books encapsulates what is the very heart of walking in beauty. It really is, right? It's not about being pretty. It's not about having pretty things around you. It's none of that. It's I think that we've taken that word beauty and we've applied it in a world that measures us, and we're not to be measured because we're infinite. So when we start that measurement of, oh, I'm so pretty, or I'm beautiful, or whatever, that is like we've stuck a label on us, and that's it. There's no more growth, no more expansion. It is. When I look at this whole concept of what is at the heart of walking in beauty. Now, walking in beauty is a very ancient indigenous concept. I just want to throw that back out there, right? And it's been practiced in indigenous cultures. Particularly in Navajo culture, they've really embraced this whole concept of walking in beauty. Also, sometimes parallel walks the red path, right? So I like to go back to that indigenous part because they're without the AI, without that tech stuff. It's going back to really us and our relationship to nature, our relationship really with ourselves. So I made a little list of things that I think are good points to think about in terms of looking at what walking in beauty actually means. And if anybody's interested in diving deeper on this, I'm teaching a class on Sunday, a Course in Miracles class, and you can always reach out. And if you're interested in this and the way I teach it through Course in Miracles, please let me know and I can get you in. Okay, so my first point is, what does walking in beauty mean? Living in harmony with yourself, with others, with the land, with our ancestors, with spirit, and with the natural world. So when I look at that first, that's actually, if you read Anastasia, you're going to go, you got that first bullet point. That totally encapsulates it. So let's just talk about this for a moment. Living in harmony with ourselves. So I loved what Jeanne said, right? She's finally living this life that she's always wanted to live. I call that living in harmony. Right? Because it feels good, right? Jeanne, it feels good, does it?
Absolutely. Absolutely. Like I wake up joyful. I go to bed joyful. Like I feel, and I say joyful, but I just feel like so blessed and grateful.
Yeah. Yeah. So when we are living in harmony with ourselves, we're at peace. We joy is a byproduct of that commitment to live in harmony with self. So, okay, so that's living in harmony with self, living in harmony with others, right? If we're in harmony with ourselves, in acceptance of ourselves, and in movement with our own rhythm, then our relationships with others take on a whole different thing, because we're not trying to please anyone else. We're not trying to have a relationship with anyone else. We are in harmony with self, and that harmony of selves attracts those, and the not just the others, but the whole frequency of the conversations takes on a whole different vibe, if you will. When we are in harmony with others, it gives others permission to be in harmony with themselves. Therefore, we become harmonious together. So being in harmony is not like some, mystical, magical thing. It's being authentic to who we really are and being authentic in our relationships. So that's how I see harmony. So being in harmony with the land, it's like being walking upon the land with honor and with respect for what this earth gives us, what this Mother Gaia is. She's a living, breathing, magnificent being. She's magical and mystical. I mean, from her, all things are growing, and oh my God, she's amazing. So when we're living in walking in beauty with the land, we come more into more of our own nature when we do this. Okay, so this part is like living in harmony with the ancestors. Okay, so okay, this one's been a big nugget for me for the last couple of weeks, right? So when we walk in harmony with our ancestors and who they are, we cannot blame anyone for our past. We can blame no parent, no grandparent, nothing. When we begin to walk in harmony, we realize that all of this has been divinely orchestrated, and that our ancestors were actually the right and perfect frequency for us to grow and to awaken and remember who we are. Even in the most difficult ones, especially those, we come to a deeper understanding that, and everybody knows who's taking Course in Miracles. I love this aspect where in the Course it talks about when we arrive in our incarnation, that we arrive fully intact with all of our issues, but also with all the capacities to heal those issues. So living in harmony with ancestors, it comes into a place of honoring even the most difficult things that happen. It's acceptance, it's honoring and realizing that out of all of the whatever happened, right, we become something magnificent in that. We become harmonious. We become better choosers. There are things that we become when we begin to live in harmony with our ancestors. And then I think we've already covered spirit and the natural world, so I'll let that go. The next bullet point that I wrote is moving in balance rather than excess, rather than domination, and rather than disconnection. So when we move in balance, and this is another one that has been like really at me. One is because I can get so out there in the world, and I don't watch where I'm going. I don't watch where I'm going. I get so, and then I realize I might trip or I might bump something or whatever, because I've forgotten to be in relationship to what is around me. So when we move into balance in the outer world or usually in the outer world, when we're moving in balance, then we come to an awareness of what all is around us. We come into a relationship with that, and then and it's not that we're now walking through life. We are part of life in this beautiful dance, this balance of movement, of moving into your world. So it gets us connected. So if I'm moving in my world and I'm like on a mission and I'm in my car, going to my car and whatever, and I haven't taken the time to just really acknowledge where I am, where my footsteps, where any of this, where life is, if I've not done that, I'm disconnected. So, but when I become connected to that, I become graceful. and that is and I dance in the world. I move in the world in a much more beautiful way. Okay, the next bullet point I have is honoring right relationship. And this one is just so beautiful, because what does that really mean when in terms of walking in beauty? When we honor our right relationship, we become in relationship with our words. That's a big one. Our actions, right relationship with our bodies, with our communities, and with all of our surroundings. And I find this one particularly beautiful because if we choose to walk in beauty, when we choose to walk in that kind of a path, we begin to honor the right relationship that's within ourselves, that we are magnificent, beautiful, incredible beings, right? But also we honor it with our words. So we use words that contradict our truth of who we are. We're not in right relationships. When we begin to use words of hatred and disconnection and um, uh, uh, I'm kind of going back to thinking about what, the last few years have been like, where I've seen so much anger and hatred and words used that, I mean, there are people that have used words about beings that I go, you can't possibly mean that, right? But you got to let them have it, because that's their word, but it's not honoring the right relationship. So if we cast aspersions upon other beings, we're really doing that to ourselves. So we're not honoring the right relationship with our words. When we begin to honor that, then the words that come forth are the words that are anchored in beauty, that are anchored in balance, that are anchored in that harmony. And so when we say something that is out of balance, out of not in harmony, we know it, we can feel it, and we can experience it. So that's right relationship. And I'm going to move that. I'll go back up to this one again and talk about being in right relationship with your community and its surroundings. So we each live in a community, whether it be a community of friendship, a community of houses, a community of a city, a country. We have and we expand it out. We have a global community, right? Honoring right relationship with everybody in our community, the little community and the big community. And then I've got here recognizing beauty as a spiritual condition.
Can I say something real quick?
Yes.
So I like what you said about expanding it out. I think it's about honoring ourselves and then expanding it out. And I think everything begins with us, like personally. And that as we honor ourselves, we can expand it out to others.
Yep.
So I just want to make that clear.
Yep.
So important.
Yeah, it is absolutely. And we can't do it unless we do it first for ourselves.
Right.
All we can give is what we are.
Right. And if we're giving without doing it for ourselves first, it's codependent.
Yep.
We're doing it for a reason, to get something back.
Yep. It's codependent. That's manipulative. That, know, it's like that's part of the sickness that we participate in when we look outside of ourselves to get something. Right. It never works. It may look like it works sometimes, but it never works really. Thank you for bringing that forward, Jeannie.
Mhm.
This one I absolutely love. Recognizing beauty as a spiritual condition,
Mm.
not just an outer appearance. I love that. And the next one I have is walking with respect and reciprocity, knowing that life is interconnected. Now, that is a practice I've been doing. Um, so I live in a not a beautiful community here. Sometimes it doesn't feel that way. Sometimes it doesn't feel respectful with community members. Sometimes I don't see reciprocity. So I have to come back to myself and go, okay, so what's the vision I'm seeing from? So when I begin to bring forward my own, the respect of my own thought, my own authenticity, I'm not trying to make myself into anything other than just who I am, happy with me, right? Living in harmony with me. When I walk and move in my world with that respect and reciprocity, then I'm interconnected to everything. That's when, and that's when the magic starts flowing. When that interconnection is like, it's like all this, beautiful energy can show up and just spur us into some beautiful experiences. Is because we are interconnected, and if we don't realize that, then we live in that fear of that separation, and and that's the ego, right? So there's this one, and then the last little bullet point I made here is when we're walking in beauty, it means to be restored to wholeness. We're restored to wholeness. So when disharmony or grief, illness, conflict, imbalance disrupts your path, when we begin to look at those areas where that's been going on, like when we stopped the shows, where I was in my personal life was there was some big grief in my life going on, some big losses in my life going on, right? So I'm dealing with those energies, some conflict that's going on. It was an imbalance in my life where I needed to come back into harmony with myself so that I could be restored to wholeness. And so being restored to wholeness is a beautiful concept and can only happen when we're walking this kind of path where we've decided we don't need to hold on to the conflict, we don't need to hold on to the blaming, the shaming, the all those lower density things that we talk about in the map of consciousness, all that lower frequency. When we hold on to those things, we cannot walk in beauty, because it means that we're burdened. We carry shame or guilt or blame, or all of that anger, what all that stuff that holds us and anchors us down. So those are just those are points I wanted to make, because beauty's not separate from truth. It's not separate from health. It's not separate from morality. It's not separate from the land. It's not separate from prayer. It's not separate from our communities. Beauty's that felt sense that life is in order and that one is walking in a good way. So a simple way maybe to say it is to walk in beauty is to live in harmony with the sacred order of life, within yourself, within others, within the earth, and with spirit. So this is where my mind has been going in this whole concept of bringing walking in beauty to the forefront, to a way of meeting my days. And I invite everyone else to be able to consider the points I'm making and maybe make a decision to also walk in beauty.
Great. Thank you, Morgan. How about meditation?
How about it? Does anybody want to say anything about the points I've made before we do a little bit?
I just want to say that was beautiful.
Exactly. There is nothing. I don't think either of us can say anything more about it, Morgan.
Right. It was beautiful.
Yeah.
Well, thank you. Okay, then let's move into our own radiance so that we can discover what it's like to walk in beauty for ourselves. So let's go ahead, and I'm going to invite everyone to just get your feet on the ground. And if you're sitting or standing, it doesn't matter. If you're sitting though, I want you to, as you get your feet on the ground, actually press your foot into the floor like you're walking, even though you're sitting down, and feel what that feels like as you're pressing your foot into the floor like you're walking. And that's helping you get grounded right there. So take a breath in. And as you take that breath in, gently close your eyes and then let that breath out, allowing your body to soften. Another beautiful breath in. Receive it. Receive that breath fully. And now release it fully. Receiving and releasing are two parts of harmony. You cannot just receive, you also must release. The ebb and the flow, in and out. And just find your own natural breathing. Honor your own rhythm of breath. And I'll just be quiet for a few moments here and just allow you to find your own movement of your breath. And as you begin to just come into harmony with your own natural breath, I invite you to turn your attention to your heart center as you continue your breath. Moving your attention to your heart. And as you move your attention to your heart, allow your body to continue to soften. Continuing to bring your attention to your heart, to who you are. And consider this theme of today, walking in beauty. Stay focused on your heart and your breath. Considering walking in beauty. And I invite you to think of ways you already are walking in beauty. Perhaps you're honoring yourself and who you are. perhaps you're witnessing the radiance of nature. And when we do that, we acknowledge that there's a radiance in us that is mirrored back to us through nature. Continue to put your attention on all the ways you walk in beauty, in balance, in peace, in joy, in love. Take a breath in. Let that integrate. Receive the gifts of how you're already walking in beauty. Breathe that in. And then release that breath, letting your body soften again as you release that breath. And then I invite you to think of ways that you may not be walking in beauty. Areas where there might be some disharmony or conflict. And as you bring that up, invite the opportunity to choose to walk in beauty in these areas that are coming forward, that is calling for you to be conscious and awake, in balance, in peace. All these areas that are coming up where you are not walking in beauty are offering themselves up for a new choice. Take a breath in. And now I'm just going to give a couple of affirmatives that you may choose to bring into these areas where maybe you have not walked in beauty. I choose. I choose to see all people in my life with eyes of beauty. Take a breath in and bring that concept into your whole body. I choose to see with eyes of beauty. And let that choice just integrate into your mind and into your heart and into your body. The next affirmative is I choose to walk in beauty. Take a breath in, bringing that affirmation into your heart, into your mind, into your body. What would it feel like to walk in beauty? And as you exhale, let your body soften and receive that affirmation into your body so that your balance is restored, your right relationship to your world is restored. And just kind of get a sense of what that might feel like to walk in beauty. And our last affirmative is I am beauty. Take a breath in. Bring that affirmation into your mind, into your heart, into your body, into your spirit, into your soul. I am beauty. Allowing it to integrate, and on the out breath, just relax into that. Let your body soften into its beauty, into its radiance of being. And then find your breath again, just breathing in and out your own natural rhythm of breathing and breath, of balance and harmony, of being present right where you are. And then move your attention back to your heart. And from here, I would like for you to envision a path from you, and that path leads you to infinity. You can't see the end of the path. But from this beginning point, with your heart, with your affirmations, with your realizations of who you really are, I invite you to choose to call your path, your walk with beauty. This is your path. And what would walking a path of beauty reveal to you? And then just allow that path. You know it's there. It's a part of the construct of who you are. It's there. It exists because of your choice to walk a path of beauty. And as we come back more into our bodies now, into this present timeline where we choose and we choose again and we choose beauty, know that that path not only is a path that we choose, but it is beauty choosing us, harmony choosing us, love choosing us, peace always present. Breath in, out breath. Just let your body receive this breath, and on the out breath, let it go. Let it go. Knowing that we are on our own unique path of walking our world, walking our existence with this concept called beauty, radiance, fullness of being. And so in gratitude and in love for all that has come forward today, for this coming together again, for the awakening of our choice making, awakening of our own beauty, I give thanks, and in joyous gratitude, I release us all to walk a path of beauty, so that as we walk this path of beauty, we walk a path of beauty for ourselves for our communities, for our families, for all of humanity. We awaken. We walk. And so it is.
Wow, I already get how powerful this all is. Jeannie, what you have to say?
Thank you, Morganne, for that wonderful meditation. That's something I'm going to be listening to again and again. And thank you for everyone who's listening. And thank you, ladies, for coming together and having the session.
Thank you, Morganne. Thank you, Jeannie. It's a pleasure to have you both again on the show together. It's been a while. Thank you very much for everybody who was listening today, who will be listening in the future. Please remember, if you want private sessions with any of us, contact details are in description below video. Also, Sunday will be Course of Miracles, another evening with Morganne. So please contact Morganne so you can join Course of Miracles as well. Thank you for joining us and see you next time. God bless.